You see this interview scene. It's like the refugees going for food before the liberation in 1949. People are waiting in long lines for a chance to be interviewed. If you don't have a job yet and you see this scene, aren't you anxious? So many people.
The 11.58 million Chinese college students graduating in 2023 are about to have the toughest employment season in history. According to the latest statistics involving 2022 graduates released by China's career development platform, Zhi Lian Recruitment, the contracting rate of engineering graduates, which has been high for years, is only 17.3%, and the contracting rate of liberal arts graduates is as low as 12.4%, which indicates one becomes unemployed upon graduation. In the past 2 years, more and more young people have joined the unemployment army, and many of them are college students who graduated just a few short years ago.
2 years ago, I was a 211 key university student. 2 years later, I was a jobless bum, idle at home for almost 2 years. Here, let me share with you what kind of journey I have taken in these years. In my third year of college, I attended the spring job fair, wrote a one-page resume, and then sent it to all those big companies that are well known. I think it's understandable that I didn't make the next step, as other people's resumes were all about awards from various competitions, and mine was about selling toilet paper in the park as a small salesperson. That time should be my most anxious period.
This woman has put a lot of effort into finding a job, but she doesn't understand what the problem is.
Also, in order to improve my emotional intelligence and to make myself more cunning, I spent 800 yuan to take an emotional intelligence course. And then I received my first interview notice. I was really happy, even though it was not a big company. I looked up a lot of information, its corporate culture, its main business, its various information, and I memorized it all. I memorized all the information because the course taught me that this would show your sincerity. Then I memorized it. The interviewer looked at me with a shocked expression, but a day later I received a rejection notice. I cried for a long time and finally realized that I was just a very mediocre person.
Many young people don't understand that after 3 years of the zero-COVID policy, China's economy has been hit hard, leading to sweeping layoffs across the country in 2023.
Do you know how hard it is to find a job in 2023? I left a job with nothing for 2 months. Yesterday, I traveled from Foshan to Guangzhou, interviewed a company in Zhujiang New Town. After the interview, I felt uncomfortable and didn't think it was a fit. Of course, the other side wasn't much interested in me either. When listening to my presentation of a case, they frowned and even played with their cell phones. I thought this interview was a failure. I now feel that it's really difficult to find a job in 2023. This year, there seems to be a lot of unemployed people. Many of my friends are unemployed and they can't find a job for months. I've been looking at all the advertisements by the owner directly, and I wonder what will happen in March and April, which are the original peak hiring season this year. I don't understand why many of the companies I have submitted my resume to have read my resume but won't give me a response. I have to say, being unemployed in Beijing is a very scary problem. I have only been working for 2 years and have experienced 2 layoffs. Unfortunately, I experienced a period of decline in this industry. When I was unemployed, it would be a lie to say that I wasn't anxious. I didn't dare to order expensive takeout or buy the clothes I liked.
Friends, it's not easy to stay in Beijing without a job. Today is my 10th day in Beijing, and in these 10 days, I have contacted about 1,000 companies, sent about 200 resumes, and been interviewed by nearly 30 companies. It seems that I need to make long-term preparations to find a job this year. Graduates from previous years, in particular graduates from 2022, have been looking for jobs for a year and ended up like this. The hopes for 2023 college graduates will be even slimmer. This has perplexed many recent graduates.
I sometimes wonder what's the point of going to college. I studied copywriting in college. The course content of this major is very broad. That is, you will know a little bit about everything, but nothing is mastered. After leaving the university, I realized that such a major isn't much different from people who have never been to university. They all know a little about how to write a copy. I have interviewed nearly 50 companies since graduation, and there are companies where the internship period doesn't pay a penny, and you don't have a chance to become their formal employee. The people who go to internships like this, isn't there something wrong with their head? My good friend from college in Beijing works for a very famous film and television company with a salary of 7,500 yuan or 1,090 US dollars. You may think that for a fresh graduate, it's already very good. However, she rents a small apartment in Beijing with only a dozen square meters, and her rent costs 300 US dollars. I was really shocked when I went to visit her for half a month. She left work at 1 a.m. almost every day, and on several occasions, she didn't get home till 3, 4, or 5 a.m., and she had to go to work again at 7 a.m. On her day off, when the company calls her, she has to go to work. She told me in this company, I don't know if I can survive till the day of promotion and salary increase because I'm not feeling well already.
On the afternoon of March 3, 2023, at a press conference of the two sessions of the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP, when asked about the employment rate, the press spokesman for the CPP-CC Congress said that overall employment pressure is indeed more in 2023, with more than 11.5 million college graduates expected to find employment. This year's number is nearly 800,000 more than last year's 10.76 million.
委员们认为今年就业总量压力确实是比较大的，光高校毕业生预计有1150多万人，是吧？待就业的人数比较多。同时呢，劳动者的技能素养与岗位需求存在落差，结构性的矛盾呢也比较突出。稳就业呢仍然面临着不少困难和挑战。但同时今年稳定就业也面临有利条件。
Some netizens asked, more pressure means a lot of pressure, right? Another netizen wrote, I recommend that graduates pay their way to work for the company. This way, both employment and business can be saved. It's a win-win situation. Or, it is recommended that all new college students apply for jobs as newborns, which will solve the problem of employment and promote population growth, killing two birds with one stone. In July 2022, official Chinese data showed that the unemployment rate among 16 to 24-year-olds reached nearly 20%, the highest level since the Communist Party began publishing this figure in 2018. This video shows two college students graduating from China's most prestigious university, Peking University, have saved only 1,000 yuan or 150 US dollars in the 3 years since their graduation, and that's from working as takeout workers. I accidentally saw this video today. These two individuals are graduates of Beijing University. They have only saved 1,000 yuan in 3 years, which was earned through takeout delivery. I feel instantly relieved because I was struggling with whether to work as a takeout worker. Now I finally made up my mind to work as a takeout person. Beijing University graduates can do it. So can I as an average university graduate. In the morning, I went to get a license. This is a picture taken around 10 to 11 a.m. Wow, so many people in the subway. Don't they have to go to work? Strange, huh? There are people everywhere. This year's employment situation seems to be very serious. 2023 is bound to be another difficult year in terms of employment, with university students facing the problem of being unemployed upon graduation. In addition to the current economic recession leading to the employment difficulty of college students, there is another important factor, which is the number of college graduates is too high. In the 1980s, China's education benefited from the free atmosphere of reform and opening up and gradually returned to normality. Intellectuals, as a group, once again assumed the role of representing the social conscience, ethical responsibility of upholding justice. Several student movements in the 1980s were driven by intellectuals. In the 1990s, the population of young people was about 20 million, and the number of students enrolled in colleges and universities was about 600,000. Thus, college students of that era were called the pride of the earth, and employment wasn't an issue. Virtually everyone was able to find a job after graduation. After 1998, former party leader Jiang Zemin vigorously promoted the commercialization of universities, and the number of university students rose rapidly. The slogan, "Commercialization of Education," was originally proposed by Stanford University in the U.S., with the intention of directly transforming the knowledge and technological advantages of universities into social productivity. For this purpose, Stanford University, in conjunction with several universities around it, founded Silicon Valley, which generated a huge effect on the U.S. economy. But in the Jiang Zemin era, the industrialization of education has become a synonym for high fees. After Jiang Zemin came to power, in order to corrupt intellectuals, he actively promoted the industrialization of education, allowing colleges and universities to expand their enrollment and charge high tuition fees. It gradually transformed colleges and universities, which originally had the fundamental goal of cultivating social conscience and free spirit, into an education training business with the goal of making money and profit, fundamentally changing the connotation of Chinese education. The common practice of special talent classes, gifted classes, and tuition fees has led to the expropriation of resources invested in compulsory education in China. Higher education tuition fees have been rising year after year, pushing many Chinese families into poverty. The industrialization of student housing, support services, second degrees, and credentialing have become money-making machines. Most of the private education in China, except for the extremely humble private schools for migrant children, are supported by high fees that are beyond the reach of the general public and are called elite schools. In just over a decade, children's education has become one of the major expense items for Chinese families. The heavy burden of tuition has made schooling unaffordable for the poor. In many primary and secondary schools, students have been divided into different classes based on family wealth, creating a social divide in the school. A study in 2005 shows that based on the ability to pay, that is, university spending as a percentage of per capita GDP, China's university spending is at the world's highest level, more than 3 times that of Japan. In China, to support an undergraduate student, it takes an urban resident 4.2 years of net income and a rural resident 13.6 years of net income. At that time, the education industry was ranked second among the 10 most profitable industries in China by the media. Education, healthcare, and housing are considered by the public to be the 3 big mountains weighing down on the people. China's colleges and universities have been increasing their enrollment without considering the students' future employment and without preparing them for the job market, leading to the current chaos, in other words, structural imbalance. This is a hiring site of a food factory where many highly educated university students are present.
那就赶紧走啊！大专以上学历的大专、本科、研究生有没有？举个手啊！还有吗？大专以上学历的，大专以上学历，大专高学历的啊，高学历的不用进啊，不认识字的，小学的也不用进了，我只留初中文化的就可以了。初中、高中的留下来啊，这第一个啊，先听那个条件不合适的，你们赶紧去走。95后、00后，没有做过食品厂的也先走。95后、00后没有做过食品厂经验的也先走啊。
普通二本院校毕业生在成都找工作到底有多难？
How hard is it to find a job in Chengdu? Hello everyone, I'm an ordinary fresh graduate of a university, and my major is broadcasting and hosting. I still remember the day I got out of school. I imagined I could shine in the society and be like Mulan to conquer the world and make a career of my own. However, I was so wrong. The society I rely on to survive gave me the most real slap on the face. When I took my resume to apply for a job at an internet company, they told me, sorry, our receptionists have a master's degree. Oh my gosh, I was stunned. I told myself, it's okay, I'll teach the kids, they should want me. I confidently applied for a job as an instructor for broadcasting, the kind that teaches 3 and 4-year-olds to speak Mandarin, the kind that starts with the most basic phonetic symbols. But what was the result of the interview? I was told, sorry, we need 3 to 5 years of work experience. Later, I interviewed with a company that was hiring bookstore clerks. After I went there, I was told that I needed to pay 300 yuan to apply for some kind of onboarding certificate. I was really shocked. Why am I here applying for a job? If I had money, would I be here? Oh my gosh, is that rice bowl for me in Chengdu or not?
The fact that a college student has no job isn't just a personal misfortune. It means that the investment of a Chinese family for more than 20 years is wasted. A large number of social resources are wasted, and it means a deep social crisis. Now China has a massive number of college graduates. If they can't find a reasonable placement for several years in a row, it will create an enormous challenge for Chinese society.